Chapter 46. Below Ground. Kill strode to the imposing wooden doors of the great hall. "Why must you always insult me so? And in front of staff?" Mara pulled her robe around her and ran after him. "You do that to yourself, Mara. You don't need any help from me." Turning back, he saw the hobbling Ixis clutching his bloodied nose. "Oh, look at him. He's pathetic. Go and sort him out, woman. I'm busy. I have a meeting with your father." "But you know I only use him to upset you," she simpered. "I love it when you get jealous. It's so exciting."
"Fuck off, Mara. I'm not jealous. I'm disappointed. We had it all. I would have done anything for you. We could have ruled this kingdom together. Now we're just a laughingstock among our armies. You did that, Mara. You did that," he hissed. Leaning into her face, he continued. "Leaders need partners that have their backs. I had yours. Oh, for so fucking long I had yours. Put up with drama, your moods, your greed. Nothing was ever good enough for you. Then the final insult is an affair. An affair that everyone knew about but me. With not just anyone, but the one man that was out to get rid of me. Oh, you had my back all right. With a knife in it."
"I will publicly apologize," she announced, scrambling for a way to appease him, pulling at his clothing. "Anything. Please love me again like you used to. I need you, Kill. Don't leave me." Reaching the doors, he turned to look down at her, realizing that he was truly done with her. He pushed her away. Seeing the disgust in his eyes, she flung herself at him, wrapping needy arms around his neck, begging, "Please, please!" Tears welled in her eyes.
"Hush your false tears, woman. They don't work on me any more."
He pushed her back with force. She fell to the ground again, her robe opening again, exposing her nakedness. Once upon a time, the sight of her bare body would send him into raptures, but no more.
"Get off me," he spat. "Your skin is freshly covered in his spunk. Do you think I want you anywhere near me? Understand that I don't care about you anymore. He's doing me a favour keeping a skunk like you out of my bed. We are man and wife in name only. Take your fake tears and leave. Go clean your lover's bloody nose. It's his turn to put up with you."
He stepped through the door and slammed it behind him. The noise hurt her ears, as soot wafted from rafters and rats scurried the floors. Mara and Ixis were alone. He, holding his pained face with blood-stained fingers, and she whimpering on the floor in the fetal position. For once, her tears were not fake. Ixis closed his eyes in understanding. He was wasting his time. She still loved her husband. Even after the months of their secret liaisons, mountains of gifts and torrid love letters, he was not enough for her. His plan was not working. If he was going to get under the skin of her father, become close, gain his trust, then take over the kingdom, he needed to find another way. She'd served her purpose. He didn't feel bad. She'd been using him as much as he her. But enough. She may be one of the most beautiful women on the planet, but beauty wasn't all that. It didn't last forever. Vanity was ugly, treacherous, and lacked class. She would lose her look soon enough. Then what? She'd be alone, with her shell of a cold heart, with no friends and no support. People had begun to avoid her long ago. She couldn't be trusted. Even when alive, she was selfish. She killed her husband, so they say. The fallen called Jack. Ixis chuckled to himself. She'd done Jack a favour. He'd gotten away from her. But he hadn't learned his lesson, or was a glutton for punishment. He was now shacked up with another of Gregori's daughters. Ixis shook his head. It was a shame. He'd fancied the idea of ruling with her as his queen. It would have made life easier. But Kill, as much as he hated him, was right. In life and death, you need to choose a partner that has your back. Mara had no one's back but her own. It was time for him to move on. He would take over the kingdom without her. He turned to walk away. Mara saw him, stopped crying, and raised her head. "Where are you going?" she demanded. "Help me up! Summons my maid! I look a mess." He carried on walking, ignoring her. "Ixis!" she bellowed. "Come back here now! How dare you disobey me!" He turned to look at her, eyes cold. "No!" she shouted, shocked at his behaviour. Never had he disobeyed her. He stared at her for a moment, weighing up his decision. It could cost him dearly, but hey. He waved her away with a dismissive sweep of his hand and kept on walking. "Ixis!" she screamed after him, scrambling to her knees, crawling towards him. "You'll regret this!" "Yep, I probably will," he muttered to himself. "But I'll regret staying even more." He didn't look back. "Ixis!" she screamed. "Ixis!" His name echoed the halls. Witnesses stayed out of sight, and rats scampered further below ground. Nathan, Christian, and Sarah stood at the end of the hallway, watching.